So I'm outside on a patio, like outside of the NICU, because you can't eat like in the actual room itself. The kids are coming today. I'm super excited about that. There's like a family lounge, and then like outside the family lounge there is like a little outside area. I have a view of lots of tall buildings. And yeah, I'm gonna have coffee and some crackers and peanut butter. So it's kind of like the view from the lounge here. Morning, guys. I am out on a terrace this is a terrace. It's called a terrace. I don't know. Outside there's like a family room or whatever you might want to say. That it's like a lounge where you have like coffee and that type of stuff because you can't eat in the NICU. So I'm outside of that. They have like an outdoor space, which is nice because it's nice and quiet, and you get some fresh air and that type of stuff. So lots going on. What we are doing right now is baby Azariah is probably going to be here for a while, Lord willing, actually. He has his ups and downs. There's a ton of things going on with him. I'll probably go into like, I don't know when I'm going to give you guys like health medical update type thing. The big concern right now are his lungs. One of his lungs he's on a ventilator, and one of his lungs is not like fully inflating or really inflating at all. So it's doing like all the work that's just on one side. So that is the first step in what needs to happen. There's other things that need to like happen and go on that are smaller and that are ups and downs and waves and whatever. We're gonna have a meeting this afternoon in the conference room with a bunch of doctors and surgeons and all the people. So yeah, we'll figure out. We'll have a better plan this afternoon. I feel like mentally at this moment, I feel a lot more like secure in like my thoughts, feelings, not as like overwhelmed, although I'm not quite sure because today my milk came in and I'm not quite sure what we're doing. Right now the baby is not getting any like formula, any breast milk, anything like that. He gets a specialized formula of nutrients, not actual like milk. So I kind of want to talk to the lactation consultant and such and see where we're going to be at, and then possibly try pumping. I'm not quite sure. I really know that I'm going to struggle with that. I always have anytime I've needed to pump. But at the same time, like, I want to give the best to him. So yeah, that is that. And so as far as us, we are moving or my husband is moving, everyone, they all got to, I'm trying to like, I go to like tell you guys something and then I'm like, oh, I got to reverse because you guys don't know this part. So all the kids got to come up yesterday, and it was so cute to see them with their little brother. Just so cute. I'll try to drop some pictures in probably at the end of this video just of the kids interacting with him. We didn't take any video, just pictures. But yeah, it was really precious. They were just, and it's so cute the way my youngest, she says Azariah. Anyway, so yeah, she really enjoyed him. They wanted to know if he could go camping with them, and we said no, not this time. So they are back camping tonight. We extended our camping. It was supposed to be till Wednesday. We extended it one more day until Thursday. There is a family that said that we could stay with them for a couple days, or that my oldest daughter and children could stay with them for a couple days. We have our name on quite a few waiting lists as far as housing goes, like Ronald McDonald's house. There's something called like hospitality homes, I believe it is. We have our name in there. We've been looking. I contacted a couple people for Airbnb, and it's really weird because neither of them wanted children, even though they had like a limit of 10 people like per like the unit that they had. Like, it was like a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And so those two were the only ones that were under $10,000 a month. So, yeah. Ideally, what I'd like to do is rent something for the month of October, and then wait for, while my husband is down here, and while like Azariah is like up and down and not very stable and such. And then after that, if maybe in that month at some point, if we can get into Ronald McDonald's house or something, then myself, my daughter, and then the youngest kids in Sweet Pea would stay like in the Ronald McDonald's house, or an avenue like that. And then we would be close to Azariah, and we would like rotate out who was like going to be with him and stuff that day, when my husband needs to go back to work, which is in 6 weeks. He could take an additional family medical leave, which is out there, like just trying to figure things out. But I think probably what we would do is wait and have the family medical leave for if he had heart surgery. And another issue with that is that's not paid. So right now he has 6 weeks of paid. So that's where we're focusing, is that 6 week of paid. What do we want to do? And he wants to be as close to the baby as he can at this point. And the other children, because it's hard, right? Like, it's hard on the kids too, like emotionally and such. And I know some people would just like say, well, bring all your kids home and have the older girls take care of them. We are like over 7 hours away from our home. So that means our children would not see us for a month, and they're used to seeing us. We're their sole providers and their sole caregivers. That is not the ideal situation in our world. The ideal situation is to try to keep us as close as possible, as many of us as possible, for as long as we can. And so that might not work for your family, but that's what we're trying to do for our family. If it doesn't work out, then it wasn't the Lord's will, and we're okay with that. But we're just putting all of this stuff out there, and then going from there and hoping that the Lord has something special planned for us. So currently they're like watching Azariah's brain activities. He has stuff like all over his head, and it sees if he has seizures. He has had a couple smaller seizures, and so they ultrasound to see if he had any brain bleeds, and he does not. He's in what they call like a cooling, because he needed full resuscitation at birth. They recommend doing a cooling process with babies that way, and so he's in like this cooling type blanket, and he will come off that at 72 hours, which will be tonight at 12 o'clock, and they will like slowly wean him off that. So that's where we are at with that. They changed his ventilator over from a regular just full vent to like a pulsating vent, and that seemed to do well last night, so that was some good news. Yesterday he wasn't urinating appropriately, so they took lots of ultrasounds and like that type of stuff. So they took lots of ultrasounds and to see and make sure everything looked like it was functioning okay, and everything looked to be functioning okay. And then so they put him on a medication, and since he's been on that medication, he's actually urinated quite a few times. So I'm really happy that he has, because he was having a hard time like getting fluids through his body, and was getting some fluids like all throughout his body. So yeah, those are some things that are just going on that we're trying to like do whatever. So it's not a diaphragmatic hernia. His diaphragm's kind of like bulged up like this, and it was pressing on his lungs. It still is pressing on like his lung area. So they're hoping if the lungs expand enough that it will press that diaphragm back down, and the diaphragm, which is a muscle, will start to build resistance like against the lungs, so the lungs will be able to function more properly, or I don't know. Anyway, you guys can all correct my English, but you know, I haven't slept. But I know somebody's gonna make a comment on like how I can't even talk and I'm redneck or something. I don't even care. Whatever, guys. So yeah, we are here. We're doing this. We are trying to fight for this baby's life. Yeah. Anyway, he is special. It is really sweet to see, like, when you touch him, he definitely does respond. He's kind of like in a sedated state because of the ventilation and stuff, so he's not like ripping everything out and all that type of stuff. But when like you touch his legs, like he moves his legs. And yesterday when the kids were in, he like tried to peek his eyes open. It was so sweet. The nurse was like, "Oh, he hasn't done that all day." So it's just sweet to see him like responding to their voice even. Yeah, it's really sweet. And the staff and everything here are wonderful, just wonderful. Even like people, like if you, it's a really, really big hospital, and if you are someplace and you're lost, they are just so, like, I've had just orderlies or, you know, janitors or whatever be like, "Oh, I can take you over to the space that you need to be." And that's really helpful. I really like that. And I like the way that it's set up. Like, nobody can get onto this floor without going through security first. Like, literally, like, the elevator has to be like badged in. So that is good, especially in like a big area like this. So that's really a cool way that that's set up. So I think that's about it. There's a mini update, and I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. So this here is a picture of like the diaphragmatic eventration. The diaphragm is like the red line, and it pushes up against like the lungs. So the lungs have a really hard time inflating. So he's on ventilation in order to try to inflate the lungs appropriately. So one lung is inflated and the other one was completely collapsed, and they think that they're making a little bit of improvement. We tried like a different ventilator type thing, and yeah, it's been interesting. So there's a bunch of things that's going on with sweet little Azariah, but that is the number one, the key that's on the top of like the list of things. So if I know some people are praying, if you could be praying specifically for that his lung might open. And then we can see where we're at. We talked to the surgeon at Boston Children's today about this condition, and so we won't be able to tell what needs to be done or not done until his lung actually inflates. I hope you all have a blessed day.